you know, you might want to start that over.
I need to outro that anyways.
Yeah.
You burp on every one of our videos.
Yes, I do. Videos make me gassy.
Today on Legendary Trails, we are going to go over the good, the bad, and the ugly about our 2021 Chevrolet Custom Trail Boss. Come along with us and we'll tell you all about it. Okay, so we're going to start with the good. So
Number one
is the tires it comes with.
Great
stock.
tires off-road. They're amazing. Goodyear Wrangler Dirt Tracks, 32 inches tall. I think they're nice tires.
What did
really
you think
good.
of the tires, Everett, on the Trail Boss? Yeah, they were pretty good. They were pretty fancy.
They went really well off-road.
They did.
They go really well off-road.
So if you are looking for really a vehicle with good stock off-road tires, Chevy has definitely nailed that. As far as they do mud, they do slick rock, they do gravel, anything that you're looking to do, those tires are definitely capable of taking you where you want to go. Number 2 is the towing capacity.
Oh, it's got great towing capacity. I don't remember what it's rated at, like 9,200 pounds, I think. Tows really well. Has lots of power, though. Good suspension for it.
It's true. It's true. We haven't towed much with it, but overall, like the stuff that we have done with it, it has done everything we have asked. We haven't had any issues with it towing, and it doesn't woggle and do weird things. So it does really, really well, and the capacity is really nice. That you're not afraid that you're going to overload it for an off-road truck.
Good payload capacity too, so you're not overloading it on the rear with the trailer.
Yeah, so with an off-road truck, typically you get less payload capacity and those kind of things if you're familiar.
1,726 pounds.
Yeah, so 1,726 pounds, as he said, that is a lot for an off-road truck. And it's really good, actually, for most, I would say, half tons.
For us, it works well. It hauls a little better than the Ram because it's heavier, a little heavier rated.
Yeah. Number 3, ground clearance. Why don't you tell them about the ground clearance?
It's got great ground clearance. 14 inches of the frame, 10.6 under the front differential, 16 on the passenger and driver's lower part, door panels, 18 in the rear. Very tall in the back, can't reach in the sides. Yeah, it's got great ground clearance. I like it a lot. Goes good off-road, as you probably haven't seen by now, or you can always reference those videos. It goes well off-road.
It's true. We'll link them down below in case you're curious and want to check out it going off-road to show that ground clearance, because it is rather impressive having that much ground clearance off-road. So number 4, the style.
It's very stylish, highly handsome beast.
It is. They put a lot of thought into carving it and making it just looks good. You see a Chevy right now, the new designed ones, and they just...
Trail Boss 2021 looks good.
They look good. They're classy. They look like they could take on things. They look like, get out of my way, I'm coming through. Like, they just have an overall kind of a, bad beep look.
Manly look.
A manly look. What do you think, Everett? Yeah, just thumbs up? Double thumbs.
Thumbs up from the Everett.
This is number 5. Is
super quiet.
It is super quiet.
Again, referencing for my wife that super quiet vehicles on the highway are extremely awesome and nice. You go 600 miles in it, it's very quiet, and you feel good. Your ears feel amazing. You can hear the radio very well.
It's true.
Although, we have one on that in our next one.
Okay. So that is it for the good, and now we are going to be moving on to the bad. So we're going to start with the bad. And so the bad, number 1, is the tick.
Yes.
Yeah, the tick.
And not the cool tick from Amazon Prime.
Yes, it has a lifter tick. It's had the lifter tick since day one. Like the very first time it had 3 miles or something. I don't know when we got it. It's ticked since day one, and it's gotten progressively louder. Especially after a hurricane trip, it was louder and more noticeable inside even.
It was, and when you first start it up, it's
Don't
just
research
there.
the lifter tick.
Don't do it. Don't Google that. Put the mouse down. Don't do it.
Anyways, yes, the tick. The lifter tick is noisy and gets noisier on ours. Anyways.
Yeah. So the lifter tick, and we're pretty sure that's what it is because it's very common, and that's kind of disappointing for how much you pay for these things. So moving on to number 2, the radio.
Ah, yes, the radio. Worst.
Tiny.
Yeah, tiny, worst radio sounds ever. Tiny.
It sounds terrible, huh?
Tinny
Rich?
and tiny radios. The radio, the screen itself's fine, but the tinny sound is terrible. It's the worst radio I've ever heard. My 1998 F-150 had a better radio.
It's true. It's true. Even our 2007 Saturn
And
has
some people
a
may
better
disagree,
sounding
but
radio.
yeah, it's very tinny. Like maybe mine's off or something because it's super tinny, like terribly bad.
It's not for the amount of money you pay for things. It's not the quality that you
The
expect.
Ram had a way better radio. Like it was way clearer. Actually had decent balance, bass, and treble. It was much nicer. The Chevy's radio was not good. The Sirius XM radio was great though.
It's true. Sirius radio, XM radio that comes with the newer vehicles. That is a really nice feature.
Okay.
So this is number 3, and I get to cover this one because this is my biggest pet peeve. Is the passenger seat is lower than the driver's seat. Now, what do I mean by that? I mean you're literally an inch lower seating than the driver's seat. And Chevy, WTF? Okay? I'm already short, and this really torques me off because when you're sitting in a vehicle, you expect to be at least like the same. Like, of course, the driver's seat can move up and down, except for ours is a base custom trail boss. The seat does not go up. It pumps up a couple, but it doesn't do much. So you expect that ebb and flow, but this is actually at the lowest setting of the driver's seat. You are an inch lower, so you feel like the dash is here.
Ours didn't pump up or down either side.
No, so ours is like, so if you're familiar with 2021, it is the year of you can't test drive anything before you buy it. You can't find things before you buy it. So the only thing that we were able to test drive before we were able to purchase this vehicle was actually a GMC. And it was the elevation package, which we knew there was a lot more things on the elevation package than when we'd be getting, but we already did our research and knew what we were getting into, except for we didn't realize that the seat on the passenger side was going to have that kind of issue.
Yes, so number 4, jumping the gun, is the driver's seat is horribly uncomfortable. The lumbar hits like my back. I can't do human back right here above my butt instead of in the middle.
Yes.
It was horrible. So it forces me in like this, and it just really hurt. Uncomfortable. Horribly uncomfortable, especially on a 400-mile drive.
So if you are going to be buying a custom trail boss, just be aware that you want to sit in it first.
And there might have been one off. Maybe the seats were different or weird.
Maybe, this is 2021. We have no idea. Like, this stuff could just be 2021 issues. Like, they put what they had, and maybe that's why no one's covered it. The passenger seat is lower, the driver's seat is uncomfortable. Like, there are some major differences that we weren't expecting, because usually GMC and Chevy, you can kind of, the
seats were way better at the GMC. They were the same power or manual, and all that, but they were different.
Apparently, you just get a way different seat, and of course, we weren't able to try it out.
At least on the two between what we drove and what we bought. So.
Just sit in it first. Sit in it and just sit there, and I don't know what you need to do at the dealership, just sit in it. And if you're uncomfortable sitting in it, don't buy it, because you're not going to want to drive it.
It might have broke in better if I'd have given it a couple thousand more miles on top of the thousands of miles put on it. So
yeah, so
it was
maybe
not comfortable.
So that was number 4. Number 3 and 4 kind of connected because they're both major issues, especially like you're buying it to drive it. You're not buying it as a paperweight.
Number 5. Wax dipped frame. It was rubbed off from the factory. I sprayed that where it was rubbed off from being tied down or whatever it was. Got some on my eye. That burns. Sprayed all those. I hate that. And then it coats in dirt. And the dirt does not wash off very good. And it just looks bad. Watch TFL's Trail Boss videos and watch their undershot carriages. And you'll see nothing but red dirt in it because the wax holds the dirt. Yep. And it dries out and it chips and flakes off and you get a rusty frame. Terrible. Mm-hmm. It's 2021, people. The 15 Ram had a E-coated frame. Like I jacked on it. I beat on things. I scraped it perfectly fine. Just a quick touch up with some paint. It was good. Never rusted. Everything was pristine.
If
when
you
I sold
followed
it.
our channel for any length of time, you know that the Ram, it
Trail
went through a
Boss
lot.
frame was not gonna. Yeah,
It's not going to hold up to our lifestyle. No, and so
It
that's
bugs me
kind of
way too much to have a rusty frame on a new truck. Way too.
The Ram was pristine.
Brand new, pristine looking frame.
And this one is just, it's already looking like it went through a war.
Yeah.
And it's only gone on
22,700 miles.
Yes. So just be aware, it's a wax frame. Chevy, get your stuff together. Number 6.
Apparently we're doing 6. It has a long wheelbase, which isn't terrible because it still has good breakover, good approach, and good departure. So that's really not a minus. It just makes it right nicer.
It makes it right nicer.
Plus,
but
and the minus because it's harder to park.
It gives it a worse breakover angle.
Longer turning radius.
Yes.
So it's a 50-50. It's fine.
It's kind of one of those bads that it depends on how you're going to use it.
Towing, great. Off-road, okay, not great. Yeah. Parking makes it harder to steer around parking lots.
Yes.
It's a very long truck.
So this is the last one in our bad list. And it,
Number 7.
you when you buy a truck, you expect truck mileage.
Generally, when the sticker says good mileage, I expect decent mileage. I got worse than the Ram, like 14.6, 14.8 going to Hurricane. I got that once in the Ram. I was going really, really nice speeds on the highway. But it was in a headwind. And ever since after that, I've never gotten that low mileage. And that's, the Trail Boss really like to get that mileage on the highway no matter what. 14.8. I got 19 when we did 55 all the way back from Utah. Mm-hmm. And that was the best I ever got. After that, it was 14, 15, 15.8.
Yeah. So just be aware that
it does not get sticker. Not for me.
It does not get sticker, and it's kind of disappointing when they don't, when they do these stickers, they don't consider off-road vehicles. They just kind of do it from their base model, from my understanding, which could be totally wrong. If I'm wrong, please tell me down below.
And other guys might get great mileage, but the Ram, the way I drove them the same pretty much, and I got way better out of my Ram than I ever did out of the Trail Boss. So. Yeah.
Okay, so that is it for the bad, and so we're actually going to move on to why you're really here. What is the ugly? What is ugly about the 2021 Chevrolet Custom Trail Boss? Number 1, terrible off-road visibility.
I mean, I don't mind losing a Prius or a giant boulder when I'm 6 feet away. Not a big deal.
Not a big deal.
It sucks. Yeah, terrible. Terrible visibility. You can't see visibility-wise off-road very well because the hood flares up right here. You got this big a space. So when you park in front of you're behind a van, like in a snow canyon, let's say, and you think you're a couple feet away, just enough for them to get out. Oh, you're 8 feet away.
If you are considering one, drive it. Make sure that you're okay with those sight lines because everyone's different. And also, if you get an LT, you'll have that liftable seat. If you go to TFL, go and look at their Moab video. There were times when Roman was driving and he was complaining about the visibility. Take it seriously. Because
I didn't believe him. I watched all the reviews. I read all the reviews.
Mm-hmm.
I checked everything. It's like, oh, they're just full. You jump in, oh, it's fine until you get off road. Like, yeah, I can't see that rock.
Yeah, so take it seriously. If you're okay with that, if you're going to campsites, or you're going to just be, towing and getting lumber and things like that, or house projects, it's great.
Great truck.
It's a great truck.
It's not as off-roadable as I'd like.
Number 2, this is your passion here.
I have an undying hatred of this. Number 2, the world's tiniest radio knob. Teeny tiny. So you go for it, and you hit the stupid screen because you just can't quite. It's tiny, and you turn it. It is tiny. It is horribly tiny. You insert picture of tiny, world's tiniest radio knob. Tiny. There's another truck with a tiny knob. It's slightly bigger than that, but this one's tiniest.
Tiniest knob for the largest truck on the road.
You're trying to you don't want to break it. You're trying to be gentle. You man hands on it. You're like, oh yeah, yeah. Not great. No steering wheel volume controls was terrible. So you'd use the knob, but it would have been fine with a big knob like the Ram. Not the tiny. It was this big. I mean, we're talking like this big, like just a picture of tiny little. Anyways,
it's smaller. It's smaller than a beer cap.
Oh, it's tiny.
So
it's like a penny.
It was
like the size of a penny.
I would say it's like a 1/4-inch bolt, maybe a little bigger.
It's the size of a penny. Picture penny. It's the size of a penny.
A penny is bigger than that.
No. All right.
It's not big. So next one. Moving on. So as we kind of started
What
leading
number?
into this in number 1, so this is number 3, and that's the width of the truck. And
Wow.
it doesn't matter if you're on road or off road.
That's what she said.
Or drive within lines of skinny roads on
Yes.
county roads.
It's huge.
Yeah.
It's like 4 inches wider than my Ram. Was.
We,
4.5 or something. It's huge.
when you start looking at those things, you're like, oh, it's not that bad.
Insert picture width.
insert picture of Ram going
Yeah,
underneath I-70. The trail boss wouldn't have
fit at all.
We would have had to go
Did
back
not
through
realize
all
it.
those obstacles. And it wouldn't have fit between the boulder. We would have had to back all the way down.
Did not realize
the
it had
hill.
gotten that wide. On the plus side, the interior room's great if you want to lay down, stretch out, throw
Spacious.
a party, invite 12 people.
You could have a
Awesome.
quinceañera in there. was so
Birthday
big.
parties, the whole 9 yards. But off-road or in narrow spots or even going through those tight spots like Zion, horrible in that little tunnel. Horrible.
Yes,
Yeah.
not great. On road, off road, it's just too wide.
Scratches.
Like there were the bushes that we wouldn't have ever thought about going down
Yes,
to Babylon
very
Arch.
wide.
That
Don't dare
I was
try and
just
pass
like-
on a narrow shelf.
if we took it on some of these roads, off-road trails
Granted.
in Colorado, like if we took it on some of them,
Yeah, some would be kind
you would be like if you took it up marble, it would be.
You'd slide off.
You would
Or
not
You'd have a
fit.
heck of a time. You could make it. Would it be? I'm a good driver. Lots of other people are good drivers. You could get it there, but it's going to suck a lot worse than something that's 4 inches narrower.
Just be aware
Yeah.
that things have gotten bigger. We're
Everything's bigger.
supersized America.
Not just in Texas.
Yeah, not just in Texas.
Number
Okay.
4, bumper paint and height. So maybe 5. 4 and 5 combined. Bumper paint chips very easily. As bugs and chip it, rocks chip it. It's just, you'll see complaints about this online. I ignored those. It is very true. It's a painted bumper that just, and it's low. It's only 13.5 inches to the bottom of the bumper. My Ram had 16 inches after I lift, 14 before. I thought it was going to be taller than that, but the steel plate at the bottom, if you measure it, because the bumper angles up, so it gives you a decent approach, but it's only 13.5 in the middle, so like, you shouldn't be running into rocks that much bigger. But occasionally you misjudge that rock on the side, and that's where a taller bumper is great, because at least your tire hits it. But like my Ford, when I ran into an 12-inch block that was laying upright, the bumper cleared it. My 2004, went right over the block. The trail boss, it was on edge, so the trail boss, I would have hit that. Definitely hurt my bumper make noises. Or rocks. Lots of rocks I've gone over it would have hit. Did not expect that.
Well, if that's it, you have now heard about the good, the bad, and the ugly of the 2021 custom Chevy Trail Boss 1500, and kind of our opinions on it. And
Still a great truck,
it's still a great
Boss.
truck. It's just not for us. Like, we've decided that it is not for us.
We're moving on to greener pastures after several months of owning a Trail Boss. I know.
But this is a year where you can get more money out of your used vehicles, so
Yes.
if we
We
can
can.
find another one,
If we can find another one, we'll reveal what that is.
we will. And hopefully it'll be something that
It's a
you're
forever
interested in.
truck. They're all forever trucks.
In case you're wondering, there's still no Rams.
Yes. But
Rams are like.
if it has
golden
wheels, I'll
nuggets.
probably get rid of it at some point. So just be prepared.
Yes.
So this isn't a shock to you.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be. The Ram was a keeper and should have kept it. But now I'm moving on. So I have to keep going until I find the green pasture.
Greet
But anyways, we will be revealing
A green
something
Ram?
new here soon, as it arrives. Very exciting. We probably should keep it forever. Never get rid of it. Just make it happen. We'll see what happens though. Stay tuned.
As he said, if it has wheels,
It could go at any
it
time.
could leave tomorrow. Our house is the revolving door.
There's
of
only one I
vehicles.
can't get rid of. 1998 F-150.
It's
in the
true.
back.
The night-
Uncomfortable, loud, but rugged, manly, tough. That one will be coming someday down the road.
we will show off the F-150 here soon.
Showcasing its amazing.
Because it is truly an amazing truck, and if you were looking for a budget off-roader, it's
I won't
for
sell
you.
it to you. but
We're
you
not
can
selling
find one.
it. It's staying. It's
My
actually
forever truck is that one. 'Cause all others are disposable until I find my other forever truck.
it's true.
But we'll see. This next one could be good.
It could be good. So stay tuned. So this is the conclusion of our review video. So please like, subscribe, and share with your friends. And we'll hopefully see you out there on the trail sometime soon. Bye.
Adios.